Hey everybody, it's Preston here, Hawk, and welcome to your late AEW Full Gear review from last night. Man, sorry, my neck is bothering me. So yesterday was AEW Full Gear. I did promise you guys I was going to do a review. So before I head on today, I figured I'd give you guys a quick review of Full Gear last night. So last night was a little late, so unfortunately I wasn't able to give you guys a proper review. So consider this a late review. I know a lot of people have already done reviews, stuff like that, but I wanted to give my thoughts about it. I did go to the theater. I actually went to my local EMC over here, and I went with Brandon. We went to the theater to see Full Gear. So it was a great experience. But the biggest issue I have was when you order the pay per view in a theater and you have a receiver where it basically says something like, "Do you want to restart this or whatnot?" Keep an eye on things, and for the love of God, don't just postpone the restart because that actually happened where during the street fight, the box came up, and then it took about before someone got off their ass and said, "Oh shit, we gotta do something." And instead of just postponing the restart, they actually restarted the whole thing. And basically, it took about 10 minutes before we got the show back right. But after that, besides that, everything else was smooth. So just theaters locally, it's only a few people or a few hundred people, it don't matter. You need to stay up on your game, AMC, please. You need to step up on your game. You need to fucking pay attention. Learn to read. So that's my little rant about that. So let's go ahead, not waste any time. I want to try to just get through all the stuff, the finishes, some of the spots and whatnot. Try to get through everything as quickly as possible because, like I said, I want to just plow right through, give you guys a short review. I know it's not going to be most detailed, but I just want to get it done. So we open up with Darby on MJF. Yes, this actually open show, and these guys were on a mission. They tore the house down. These guys just excellently together. They just were countering. They were selling. Darby doing his typical bumps. MGF. Being a douchebag that is talented as he is. This was just a fantastic wrestling match to open up the show, and the ending we saw MJF grabbing a skateboard because he was trying to get Darby Allin disqualified by telling Darby, like, hit me with the skateboard, better of it. And while the referee's taking the skateboard away, MJF grabs his ring, his dynamite ring. He plows Darby Allin with punches him, puts it back in his trunks, and then he actually beats him with the headlock takedown, which is part of the story that the whole point of MJF saying, like, I can headlock takedown. And technically he did, but he had to cheat to do it. But it's that little continuity there in storytelling that yes, he beat Darby with the headlock takedown, but he did so in cheat, which is an MJF thing to do, which I appreciate. So the ending makes sense. MJF wins makes sense. So honestly, you just gotta go away to see this match. This was one of the best matches of the year and one of the best matches on the show. Next, we got the Lucha Brothers facing FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Another great tag team match, another great match. Great team, old school team. Lucha Brothers, they, like I said, great things is on another level. The guys just out of this world video game character. He ain't human. Just an overall great match. And the ending, we saw Cash Ware put one of the green masks from Dynamite a few weeks ago. Trying to pretend that he was Dax Hardwood. Almost like a semi-twin magic. So he wasn't the legal man. And they end up pinning Cash Wielder to win. So they pinned the illegal guy. So clearly this is a setup they're going to have to eventually down the road. I understand what they did with the ending, where they kind of went with that, but I was not too keen on the ending. I think they could have done something a little bit better. Have them straight up beat them, and then you want to do a third final match. on Dynamite or a big show, you could have done that. I think to me, I get what they were going with, but it wasn't necessary in my mind. Next, we get the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament, where the winner will receive a future championship match. Bryan Danielson and Miro. Miro replacing because Moxley is in rehab right now. So that's why, because originally it was going to be Bryan Moxley. I guarantee that was the plan. But plans changed for me, but I'm glad Moxley's getting the help that he needs. So we got Miro instead. So Bryan Danielson and Miro, again, another great match. These two work well together. Miro being the powerhouse, brawler, Bryan being the striker, submission specialist. It basically ended with Danielson hitting this spinning like tornado DT off the top rope, I think it was. Basically knocking out Miro and then locking in basically, I think, a guillotine low. I think it was a guillotine choke. And end up beating Miro by knockout, basically by technical submission. And Bryan Danielson wins. Bryan Danielson is going to get the next shot at the AEW World Championship. So I don't know when they'll be. I really doubt they're going to do that for Revolution. I really doubt they're going to do that for a big Dynamite show. Maybe like a Winter's Coming type of show. So we'll have to wait and see what comes to that. But yeah, another great. Next, we got the Falls Count Anywhere match. It was Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express taking on the Superclick, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks. Again, fun carnage match. I can't talk about all the spots here. I just can't. Let's just say there was a lot of tables, there was chairs, there were a ladder, there was ladders, there were a lot of unique spots in the stage. From Christian doing a balcony dive, almost 50. Jesus, Christian, I love you, but God. Thumbtack knee pads from the Super Click. Again, I can't describe this match. It's pure chaos. But at the end of the day, Jungle Boy ends up pinning, I believe it was Matt Jackson, with the concerto on the stage. When, again, this is one of those matches where you just have to watch it. It's just pure chaos. And I'm assuming this feud is over now, which I'm totally fine with. But it was a fun little chaotic little match that they did. I really have no problems with it. It was a lot of fun. It was chaotic, some innovative stuff. And Jungle Boy ended up getting the victory on pay-per-view, so he's the one that picked up the victory, so which is a good thing for him because Jeff said, and I was even saying this. And I say Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and MJF are the four pillars. They're the four guys that are going to carry this company. These are the four guys that are going to be your main eventers moving forward within the next 5 years from now. These are the five that carry the company. So great way to get Jungle Boy over. A big pay-per-view win over the Super Click. So again, fun match and outcome in my opinion. Next, we got Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. This is when the crowd started dimmer down a little bit more. Honestly, this tag match did not need to be on the show. This match was good. It was a really good TV match, but for pay-per-view, didn't scream pay-per-view. Again, I really don't have a lot to say either than Pac and Cody Rhodes defeated Malachi Black and Andrade. So I don't know if this feud's going to continue. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of getting sick of Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black and Pac and Andrade. I would like to start seeing these guys kind of move on and do something else. I don't care if that's like a Cody Rhodes and Pac feud. I don't know what it is, but I want these guys to stop feuding for a while. I think it's a little overkill. I kind of like to see these guys move on now. But the match itself, like I said, they were really bad about it. This was a match, in my opinion, that wasn't necessary to have on the card. Really, you could have just taken this match off the show, and you could easily put the time that they have here to maybe the Punk match, which I'll get into. You can add more time to the Punk match. Or you can use that time to do other things. But really, this match it wasn't necessary in my book. You could have used this time for something else. Man, I would say use a good chunk of this time for the 8 Case of Punk match. And all the rest of the time you could just use it for filler the air a little early. But in my opinion, this match did not need to be on the show. I think it would have been better if you build this up to like a Dynamite. I think that would have been better. Yeah, match didn't bother me. It wasn't a bad match, but just it wasn't necessary. Next, we had Dr. Britt Baker versus Ty Conte for the AEW Women's Championship. Ty Conte looked pretty good. I will say a majority of the match, it felt like this is a problem I have with women's matches back in the day, but especially when it comes to Britt Baker. This is the one reason why I don't get into Britt Baker as much. Britt Baker is the best character in terms of women's division. She's the best talker in the women's division. She's massively over. I get that. But as a wrestler, she's mainly a miss because I don't know if it's just her style. I don't know if it's just because she doesn't have time to train and be more fluent in the ring. But there are times where she feels like she's wrestling with two left feet. And I'm saying she's as bad as Eva Marie. Okay, she's nowhere near as bad as Eva Marie. Okay, Britt Baker has had great matches. I will say that right now. But Britt Baker's to slow, really be slow a lot of times. And sometimes some of the spots can look very awkward. And half of this match was very slow. It was like, okay, let's do this, but let's try to go slow to get the spot right. But then the other, they started to pick things up, and Tay Conti doing a moonsault, but it wasn't a regular moonsault. It wasn't like I moonsault and then my stomach and basically my front end of my body landed. It was more like I'm gonna do. It was like a moonsault sunset somersault. She like got extra rotation. I mean, it looked kind of cool, but if she was trying to go for a moonsault, she over rotated. I thought Ty Conti looked good for what she did. Ty Conti, in my opinion, I can see her being a champion one day. You know, she's been improving. You know, she's not just somebody that is just sticking to just jujitsu. She's not just somebody that's just, oh, I have a nice ass and I do modeling stuff. No, she's proven that really was doing the wrestling thing. I mean, she even did a Gotch pile driver in honor of Minoru Suzuki, which I think is pretty cool. Britt Baker basically ended up winning. She pinned it on Ty Conte with some controversy and stuff like that. Britt Baker retained. We all figured. I think we're going to be on the same page when I say Britt Baker should not lose that championship until she fights Thunder Rosa, because they are not. Because here's the thing, I don't want Thunder and TBS championship, and that's not because I hate Thunder Rosa. Far from it, I love Thunder Rosa. You all know I'm Facebook friends with her. We follow each other. I am a fan of Thunder Rosa. She's awesome. But Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is the biggest women's match you can do right now. And Britt should lose to Thunder Rosa. That's how it should be. Because that's why I believe the finals of the TBS tournament are going to be Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho will be your finals. So that's my early prediction for that. So I believe Thunder Rosa should be the one to defeat Britt Baker, whether that's a Revolution, that's maybe Double or Nothing. I don't know when. But I think that's what it should be. It should be Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. But like I said, the match was fine. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the 5-star match. I think some people are kind of overrating this match. Me, I'm going to be very honest. I thought it was good. In my opinion, this was the weakest match just because of the slowness. But the Cody Rhodes, like I said, back to the tag team Cody Rhodes match, again, the problem with that is just it wasn't necessary for the pay-per-view. There wasn't any noticeable botches. It didn't feel pay-per-view worthy. Problem with this match is the first half was very Britt Baker-esque. I'm going to call it Britt Baker-esque match. Where it's very slow, kind of plodding, kind of like, okay, we're starting momentum, then we got to halt for a second to get this. It's always awkward with Britt Baker. But again, not a bad match. Not a bad match, but in my opinion, the weakest of the matches. This is when the show picked up again. We got CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. This was the match I was looking forward to the most. All it took was that one promo from them to get me hooked up. And the match was not a technical wrestling match. This was a let's go out there and wrestle. They promote this as this is a grudge match. This is we're gonna beat the piss out of each other. This is personal. Before the bell even rings, it just hits the spin backwards and nearly knocks out Punk. And from there, the bell rings and these guys just beat the piss out of each other. They just start suplexes, knee strikes, forearm strikes. These guys beat the piss out. These guys were basically in a fight. Punk even pulled off out of the 5 moves of doom with the John Cena shoulder blocks and the slam. That I forgot what they call it, a Bayplex or something like that. I don't know what they call it, but he slams it down, almost he's the 5 knuckle shuffle for John Cena, which is kind of interesting. Punk was open, and these guys just beat the piss out of your band. Punk hit the GTS for the win. Punk tried to show Inkits some respect, but Inkits too much pride. He walked out, similar to Bryan Danielson. My only gripe with this match, it was just only 11 minutes. This is one of those matches I kind of wish it got an extra. This was one of those matches I really wanted to see go on longer. I was kind of hoping this match get at least 5, maybe at least 10 more minutes. This is the match I wanted more time on. And let's go back to what I was saying, the Cody Rhodes match. You could have taken that match out and taken some of that time to add to the Punk match. I enjoyed this match a lot. In my opinion, if we're talking about pure wrestling, it may not have been the best wrestling match, but this might have been my favorite match. Personally, it was fun. The crowd was electric. The crowd was split. But the first half of the match, the crowd split. But then the crowd was just behind Ed Kingston because how can you boo this man after everything? Now, I haven't read his article, but I've heard that his article was very inspirational and very moving. But you hear about this guy's lifestyle, how and where he went through, and what he had to go through. It's just like, how can you boo this man? How can you boo and hate Eddie Kingston at all? You can't. You can turn this guy heel, but it's similar to my they did with Becky Lynch. Why we don't want to boo a Becky Lynch? She's a natural babyface. Her story is great. Same thing with Kingston. We can't boo this man. We don't want to. And I think Eddie Kingston should be a former world champion. I don't care what Saw Monster says. He's wrong. Eddie Kingston needs to be an AEW world champion. If he's not a world champion, I'll be shocked. If he ain't going to be the AEW world champion, he needs to be the TNT champion. He needs to be a champion, a singles champion. I want that guy to be a world champion one day. He better be a world champion before he officially leaves AEW, retires. I want him to hold that world title. The Punk wins. So again, short, but it was just a grudge match. Next, we get on to the main event of this street fight. Now, I can't do a full review on this match because, unfortunately, this is the part where I talked about earlier where we were in the theater and the box showed up because they were using DirecTV, and the box would show up saying that, oh, the router needs something like that. So Brand went out. He asked the manager saying, hey, the thing's on the screen. Can you take care of it? Okay, no problem. 5 minutes later, they end up taking the thing down. But unfortunately, instead of just saying postpone the restart because we only had this in one of the match, instead of just pushing it, they accidentally restarted it, and it took about 10 minutes. So by the time this match came back, we only had 5 minutes left. So unfortunately, I can't really grade this match as a whole. But for what I saw, I thought it was fun garbage wrestling. It wasn't anything over insulting. It wasn't anything, groundbreaking. It wasn't a 5-star match, but it was fun. It was a fun little street fight. Sammy Guevara releasing his inner Jeff Hardy. Jesus Christ. You know what spot I'm talking about. And Chris Jericho ended up winning and pinning Dan Lambert with the frog splash because last night was the 16th anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's death. And I did not know that Eddie Guerrero died in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is where this pay-per-view took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So it was even more eerie. I'm not gonna lie, when Jericho started crying after doing the frog splash away, I started crying. I'm like everybody else, I miss Eddie. Eddie was on another level. He'll go down as one of our favorites of all time. There'll be no one like Eddie Guerrero. No one can do what Eddie Guerrero did with his character, his personality, charisma, his style, his unique ways of winning. It just sucks, you know. And I hate to say this, there's a lot of wrestlers who are shit human beings that I honestly wish were dead. Alberto Del Fucko, and then guys like Eddie Guerrero are taken away from us. It's not fair. So it's sad, but it was a nice tribute, and Eddie Guerrero was tribute a lot throughout this night. So it was a little nice tribute to Best, and he will be missed over. Eddie Guerrero, we miss you. Rest in peace, man. But now we on the main event. Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Championship against Hangman and Page. This was 2 years in the making. This was a bid that's been built up for 2 years. Again, I'm not going to go to every single move. I just thought the match was great. You know, Hangman Page was over his game busters, a natural babyface that people got behind. The ending came when the referee got hit, knocked down. Don Callis tried to get involved. He got assaulted by Heyman. And he's going at teasing. And I think it was Audrey Edwards actually came back and referee the rest of the match. The Young Bucks, they're all banged up from their false counter match later on, but no Adam Cole, just the Young Bucks. And we seen them on ringside. They didn't get involved. They're just watching the match. Heyman hits a one-winged angel. Kenny Omega kicks out. And I got to call out some monster on this one. I know you're not going to watch because you don't give a fuck. But I got to call you out, man. If Heyman kicked out of one-winged angel, he would not have been the first. That goes to Kota Ibushi. Can we please stop? If you're going to have information history and do history lessons, get your facts right. Okay, it's pissing me off that you're not getting the facts right. Okay, Heyman is Kenny Omega's person to kick out that one-winged angel. Okay, it's Kota Ibushi back at the G1. I believe it was a G1 climax. That would be at the 28. I believe, yeah. I think it was that match. Kota Ibushi is the only man that I know that has kicked out the one-winged angel. Kota Ibushi is still the first. So get the facts right next time, okay? But anyways, the match was going. So Kenny Omega kicks out. Heyman hits a buckshot Larry from the back of Omega. Omega goes down. He's about to go for his buck patent one on the front. But he stares at Matt because Nick was on the other side. Matt was on the other side. And you see Matt. He just looks at Heyman. Heyman looks at Matt. And Matt Jackson, she says, he almost has tears in his eye. And he just nods his head. He just nods his head. Heyman just goes out, buckshot Larry. Bam, 1, 2, 3. He finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And the crowd loses it. Order come out. They're celebrating with Heyman Page. A 2-year story culminating here. What more can you say? This was the perfect ending. This was the right choice. Everyone said no one should beat Omega except for Page. Page's moment. Page was the only man that made sense. It made sense for the story. And today was the right day to do it. If they waited longer, it would have been wrong. This would have been a Naito situation all over again. When Naito should have won the world title back at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and he didn't. And they waited, and when he won it, it wasn't that as big of a deal. If Heyman Page would have waited longer, he would have lost a lot of momentum. This was his moment. He needed But a great main event nonetheless. Hangman Page is the world champion, and now we know for a fact Hangman Page and Brunson will have a world title match later on in the future. That's going to be a banger of a match. And we also got a couple debuts. Now, I want to go back because the debut is a couple segments. So, first, we had Orange Cassidy Best Friend segment. You know, they talked about and announced that on Dynamite this Wednesday, it was going to be the Butcher and the Blade versus Orange Cassidy and a partner of his choosing. Now, Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends are all part of Chaos. They're official members of Chaos. This is the Okada's faction in New Japan. And Orange Cassidy, Mikey says, basically says, it would be easy to pick one of my colleagues right here, but they've been through a lot. They're beaten up, so figure I get somebody new. And because we're associated with this group called Chaos, I figure maybe I invite someone, let's say like a dog. And Brand and I, as he said dog, we knew exactly who was talking about. And they announced it. Dynamite, it's Orange Cassidy taking on the Butcher and Blade. And Orange Cassidy's partner is the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. Yes. He's going to make his Dynamite debut because he actually wrestled in the States. He actually wrestled in San Jose last night against Jay White for another weight title. So Ishii is actually in the States at the moment. So there's a reason why they were like, hey, well, he's in the States. He might as well come in and do a match at Dynamite. So complaining. Oh, by the way, Bryan Danielson in the conference, he said the fact that he's not fighting Ishii pisses him off. Bryan Danielson and Ishii, please. But then before the main event, after the street fight, top 10 in the Inner Circle, before that, or after that match, Tony Schiavone gone, the Mikey said that he had another announcement and have signed a new talent to AEW. It was not Wyndham, aka Bray Wyatt. It was not Bray Wyatt because he's in Hollywood, so he's taking a break from wrestling at the moment. But instead, it was former Ring of Honor heavyweight champion Jay Lethal. He comes out in a remixed version of the Macho Man theme. He comes out and announces that he's officially all elite. He's officially signed. And it was weird because I know Ring of Honor is having this weird thing where they're out of business, but yet they're going on hiatus. And basically, until January, a lot of the contracts are still, a lot of time with Ring of Honor are still signed until January, and then all the contracts will not be renewed. So they'll be free agents in January. So seeing Jay Lethal, it was interesting. And during the media scrub, he talked about how he was able to talk his way, have his contract be expired. Basically, he was able to get released. And shortly after that, Tony and Jay Lethal talked a couple days later, and this was like a last-minute thing, and he got officially signed. And Jay Lethal made an announcement saying, hey, I'm going to make my Dynamite debut. But I also heard there's a open challenge for the team. So Sammy Guevara, if you're interested, I'd like to face you. Sammy Guevara comes out later on, looks at Jay, says, you're on. So next on Dynamite, or this week, I should say, we're getting Tomohiro Ishii in his AEW debut, and we're getting Jay Lethal versus Guevara in the, which in my opinion should be the main event for the TNT Championship. And like I said, we don't know who else from Honor is going. We have no idea. So that's really cool. So overall, guys, I give this like last year's Full Gear. I give this 9/10. I would say I enjoyed All Out. I would say that was still AEW's pay-per-view. I enjoyed it a little bit more, even though there was a bad match that was Paul White and QT Marshall. If it weren't really for that match, that would have been a 10 out of 10 show for me for All Out. This, in my opinion, if they got rid of the Cody Rhodes match and then maybe Britt Baker and Ty Conti match was a little bit more fluent and they add more time to Punk and Kingston, this probably would have been a 10 out of 10 show for me personally too. really, mainly there's just more nitpicks on the show rather than actual problems. So overall, they ended strong the year with another strong pay-per-view. So gratefully enjoyed this pay-per-view. This was great. Um, so with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. There will be some more stuff for Wrestling Kaiju podcast. I've been kind of on and off with that. I apologize. I've been busy and honestly haven't been in the right mood. I'll try to finish up my top 10 John Cena matches, so at least I can get those videos up on that channel so you guys can check out and see. Tell me your thoughts about AEW Full Gear. What'd you think about who graded? But other than that, that's going to be it, guys. All I'm going to say is take care of my peeps. Have a good day. See you guys next time.